Hi, I'm Amy Cesare, author and illustrator of The Coloring Book of Shadows, and I recorded this video live on Facebook, so it is raw and unscripted, and I may sound like I'm talking to myself or saying hi to people who aren't there or answering random questions, but hopefully it gives you some inspiration and ideas on how to color your own magical stuff. Awesome. Let's try again. So Saturday, I was really trying to stay on a schedule and do a weekly live show where I colored. And of course, I forgot to do it at the time I announced. But I did it 2 hours later, but then I had technical issues and Facebook didn't record it, or it was really messed up. So anyway, I'm here to redo it, to stay integral to what I wanted to do. And anyway, I colored this and I love how it turned out. I actually keep looking at it. I think it's fabulous. And the colors of Crayola pencil that I used they were inspired from the Kitchen and Practical Magic. So I thought I was going to just redo this exactly the same, but instead of redoing it exactly the same, I had another idea where I kind of switch the red and green around. So I'm going to use the same color scheme of Crayola pencils, and I'm going to try it different, but same colors. So it should be fun. Okay, so let's get started. So at my second idea, I was like, oh, what if the background of this was mint green or like a light green instead of the brown? And then kind of switch the red and the green. The background's a tan, but whatever. We'll make this a green background. Oops, that's not the green pencil. Okay, so the jade green pencil, I'm going to start with my background. Make sure I'm on the camera here. Oh, wait, let's put on the light. Okay, I'll get the swing of this. Hold on. Make it a good bright light. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to make the background green, and then my idea was to make the leaves not green, because in the other one I made the leaves green, which is fine, and they looked really cool, but I thought this one would make them not green. The tendency is to color the leaves green, I've found, at least for me. So for most of this background, I'm going to do it really quick and just use the side of my pencil and try to make it as light as possible because I want a real light green. And then I'm going to darken it for a little shadow, just to add some depth to it. But it might just be because I've practiced, but I go pretty fast and I just trust my pencil to go in all these little spaces. Maybe I go back later, but I'm not too careful. I just sort of trust my hand and my eye, and I'm just coloring them light. And you can go back in more meticulously and darken it. But for a first layer, I kind of just like to get the color down, and then I can see how it's looking and darken it up. So little circle-y kind of shapes just to make a smooth look. Oops, is my camera shaking? Sorry about that. I'm already really liking this with the green background. It looks awesome. So kind of a little circle-ys. It's called scumbling. Scumbling is the technical term. Okay. So this cool jade green background. Same colors as my last try at this, but a new application of them. Should be fun. I can turn it sideways too, why not? Kind of fits better on the camera anyway. Okay, so I'll do this pretty quick. You can definitely take more time, do it slower, whatever pace you like. You can make it really dark and saturated too. I like a saturated look. I just, sometimes for time's sake on a live video, I just go a little quicker. Then you can just keep going back and forth and darkening, adding more color, more depth to it, as much as you want. Okay, so real simple, just one color so far and super light, pretty light pressure. Side of the pencil, it's a good trick. Oops, am I off the screen again? Sorry. I kind of forget. Okay. This is nice though. I had such a busy day. Woo! It's nice to stop and color. For real. Okay. So finishing this up here, we can always go back and add more. We'll do the shadows and stuff. But for now, just giving a light coat to it. I love this. This is a great color. Jade green. Okay. Try to keep my crazy left hand off the page too. Covers everything up. Okay, that looks pretty, oh wait, a little funky down here. Fix it up. I should move this book. Okay, that's good. I'm getting a little obsessed. All right, now we shall do the shadow. Just a real simple one. I gotta move this book. I was looking up the spider in my medicine cards because a spider, a really big spider, crawled up my pant leg. It was pretty terrifying, actually. Not terrifying. I don't know. Like, I shouldn't be afraid, but I just screamed. I don't know. It was ridiculous. I had a ridiculous reaction to the spider in my pant leg. I'll say that. Okay, so now with the darker pressure of the jade green, as I did on this one, it was subtle. But you can see, like on this dill here, this plate, I put a shadow on the left-hand side and I didn't do it on the right-hand side. And that makes it kind of look like the light is coming from the right because the shadow is opposite. So, okay. So very quickly, just darkening the left-hand side around these objects. I can do a little better than that. You can really see it on something straight like this spoon. And just do the left side without thinking about it too hard, and you'll find that you've applied a little cast shadow. And you can make it really dark if you want to, like a real dark, you can like darken it more. Make it dark as in darken it. As much as you want. I love to go back and add more shadows. I think that's really fun. It is Coloring Book of Shadows after all. Ha ha ha. Okay. And I'm watching Moana. I have to have it on real quiet because it triggers like the copyright thing. But I love to watch cartoons and color. Okay. All right, so just this loaf of bread, getting there with the shadows. I'll just do it real quick for the effect. Now I'm pressing harder for these than I did for that first layer. And darken these little shadows. I'll come back to these. Cool. Well, one more thing. And then I'm just darkening this edge just to make it a little darker around the edge. Okay. Cool. That looks good so far, and it's just one pencil. Then you can like smooth it. This is a little rough. Just press super light and go over it a bunch of times till it looks how you like. Darken the shadows. Okay, I have to move on though. Well, I don't have to. I could just keep doing this forever. Ha ha ha. No, I want to move on and color the other objects. Okay, but that looks cool. So my first one was the brown background, and this is like a green one. So kind of fun. I think it's been a long time since I've colored something in 2 color schemes. Okay. Next up, that little knife was pretty fun to do. And I can't remember if I don't think I did. I think I just used this one, the Ash Crayola pencil, which is just a gray pencil. Any gray pencil will do, or use a different color if you don't want to use a gray. But since I'm imagining the light on the right, so the left side will be the darkest. And then leave a highlight on the left. Doesn't have to be white. It could be a lighter color of your color. And depending how the knife is shaped, the shadow might be a little different, but for real basic shading, without having to think too hard, your dark part's opposite your light part. So we'll do that. This one's a little darker than the first one I did. Maybe I did use that. Maybe I did use the cool gray, but that's okay. This is a different piece. Let's do this one in cool gray just to give it a difference. So that's the ash, and then the spoon will be in cool gray. And then I'm trying to focus on the left, although that's narrow. And then this spoon's a hollow object, which is covered in my new course. But when things are hollow, they're opposites of the shadow on the other side. So it like shadows over itself in the inside of a spoon, basically. So I'm going to make that there opposite of this. This is also in the 2019 planner. There's a little shading section and it goes over that too. Okay, and then I'm going to add a cool gray just because I feel like the ash was a little dark. I'll add a little cool gray to that. Cool, simple spoon and knife. And then I did something I liked with the handle of the knife, and I'm going to try to replicate it. I kind of just made it, I don't know if I used this burnt sienna last time. I might have just used brown, but let's add a little bit of that. And then the brown, keep the darkest part on the left again, opposite my light. And then I kind of added a little bit of wood grain, just making some simple lines, and it ended up looking really cool. Yeah, see how that looks like pretty nice. And if you keep the texture rough, it looks more like wood, you know. But you can make it a plastic knife. It doesn't have to be wood. It could be whatever material or metal. But then I just sort of added some really faint lines and not too many of them, and sort of randomly. And it really looked, I impressed myself. I impressed myself with the simplicity and the effect of that. So anyway, it looks good on this one too. A little darker here. But yeah, don't be afraid to add a little texture, some lines. Okay. Oh, the leaves are going to be different. Maybe I should do those first. So on this one, hi Patty, how are you? Happy Monday. On the first one that I did, the orange was like the accent color and the leaves were green. And so I'm going to reverse this one. I'm going to do the leaves in the orange and the other stuff in green. So I guess I'll just start in on that. Okay, and let's see, what colors did I use? Let me just refresh my memory here. I think I used light orange and burnt sienna. Oh, and light brown too. But this is the light orange Crayola. It's a pretty cool color. This is the Jilly, the Nicole Kidman color of Practical Magic. Her red hair and green dress. The picture that I used to get the colors inspiration was had her. I personally favor Sally, but that's okay. Jilly tries. Okay, so the darkest part's on the left, and even just a little bit, you can kind of see it come together, and I'm going to darken it more. But it doesn't have to be perfect according to your light source. Just kind of imagine, like, I always think things that underlap are shadowy. So I kind of apply that as a rule. And then trying to keep the left sides a little darker, imagining where like the light might be hitting it there, or at the top of this, or right there. And then leaving those spots lighter. It doesn't have to be white. It could be lighter if you want a more saturated look. And then try to leave some definition to underlap them. I'm going to add a second color too, so that should help add the definition between the leaves once I get there. I'm enjoying kind of slowing down. It was a crazy day. I did all my errands and like so many stops today. Oh my gosh. Usually I break it into two, but I was like, nope, I can make all these stops. Like 8 of them or something. It was a little intense. Okay. Yay. Woo. So those are like way more orangey and bright than I was anticipating. Sometimes when you look at things from a distance, it suddenly looks different. So with the burnt sienna, they look cool though. But I was expecting them to be more bronze or darker kind of. So with the burnt sienna now, I'm going over the light orange, darkening the darkest parts. Pressing pretty hard to darken it. I'm not going to go too crazy with the overlapping detail here. Whoever drew this got a little crazy. Ha ha, it was me. Okay, now I want to do a third color. I was only going to do 2. So for this, when I first did the basil on the original one I did the other day, I used the forest green, and then I added the brown. I think it was just a regular, the regular brown, not the light brown, but maybe light brown. Sorry, I can't remember. It was either light brown or brown, but you can see I added brown to it, and it really made the green pop out. I thought that was a really cool look, and I enjoyed doing it very much. It was satisfying for whatever reason. And okay, so I'm going to kind of do the same because I like these orange leaves a lot, but they're still brighter than I was anticipating, which is fine. So I'm going to just add more brown, the actual brown pencil, just to darken it and add more contrast too. But that's looking cool. I do like it. It surprised me with the color. Hi, Bella. You're there too. Chilling, day off. That's cool. I need to do one of those, but I like what I do, so it's always something I want to work on. I'm more for like an afternoon off. Usually in the morning, I'm like raring to go on something, and then more ready to go by the afternoon and evening, ready to stop. Okay, enough on those leaves, but those look really cool. I like those a lot. And then I'm going to make this one brown. Hi, Russ. I'm recording a thing right now.
I know, I wasn't going to.
Oh.
I was going to sneak by.
Russell's sneaking by. I may be easily distracted. Russell's awesome. He's my husband. Okay. So I like this. It's different than I imagined it in my brain, but that's cool. So with the contrast of those brown leaves, I wanted to make the green darker. So I'm really kind of just coloring over the whole segment. Cheater style. I'm not worrying about going in between them too much, but it still looks cool. Ta-ta! Okay, so that's looking good. And let's do some more of these funky orange leaves. Oops, off the camera. Okay, so darker on the left. Lighter on the right. Cool, cool. Same with these. Oh, let me just finish those first for the sake of not, sorry. I like jump around more, but I think when I'm trying to do a demo, I try to keep on task and finish one thing at a time. Okay. So now I have that was the light orange, and this is the burnt sienna, and I'm just darkening it. I'm layering up the colors. Looks cool, I think. Okay, and then the brown. Okay. Art zone. Spacing out. Okay, cool. So those look really good. Now for the last clump of leaves. I missed a spot with the green. Right there. Okay. Okay, so light orange. Awesome. Not too much contrast in these, but just kind of trying to keep the left side a little darker. And then I'll add more. Keeping it kind of simple. This is a little rough, but that's cool. Add style. Haha. Style and texture. Not rushed. Okay, then burnt sienna. I'm using 3 colors on these leaves, getting real fancy. I keep forgetting to do the borders too. I should do that. Okay, then a little bit of brown. Is that light brown? That's not the right one. Just a little bit of brown to darken the shadowy parts. Maybe where they underlap to give definition. Oops, kind of made a mess of that, but that's okay. Just blend it out. And nature is not perfect. If you haven't noticed, leaves have like brown spots and stuff, so it's all cool. Add some contrast to it. If you make the underneath ones like darker, it just gives some definition. Those look pretty good. Cool. Probably leave it at that. Nope, a little more. Okay. Cool, cool. And then I'm going to use the brown just for these to match the other ones and do them. I'm going to do them quick. Not too fancy. They're small. Maybe just a little bit of contrast. Cool. Oh, wow. That looks kind of fabulous. I really like it. A lot different, same colors, but a lot different than this one. All right, continuing on. Do the loaf of bread, I guess. I need to sharpen up my brown. So the way I did this last time, if I'm imagining my light on the right and the lightest parts are on the right, then the darkest parts are on the left. Oh no, my tip is broken. My tip has popped off. If this one will have an issue, then I'll have to use a different pencil, but it looks like it's going to be okay. Sometimes you get one and the lead keeps breaking. And there's a trick where you heat it up. Look on YouTube. I don't know how, heating pad, I think is how people do it. I put mine on the wood stove because we have a wood stove. So it was just convenient. There was already like a hot thing in my house. But you can put it on your pencil on a heating pad or, oh, this one might be popping out. Let's see. Heating pad or other ways to do it too. And you kind of warm up your pencil, and what it does is it melts. Because I guess if the lead gets a series of little breaks inside it, if it's cracked all the way down the shaft, then it will keep breaking when you sharpen it. And it's really frustrating if you've ever had that happen. So if you heat up the pencil, be fire safe or whatever you do. But if you heat up the pencil, it kind of melts it back together. And I have tried it and it worked. I don't know if it was a fluke, but I've tried it and it worked. So, okay. Thinking in my brain again. These are sort of like upside down little C. Oh yeah. I don't know what happened to this nice pencil, but it's having issues. Try it one more time, and if it doesn't work, I'll move to a different color. I might have a second brown here though. Let me try that too. We have a wood stove going upstairs too, so I'll have to put this on there. I think that'll work. Okay. So this is like a little more complex shape, but if I'm imagining the light coming from the right, then the highlight would be, if these are like round little bread bloops, then the highlight would be up there at the top. And that means the shadow would be opposite. So it would kind of be how I did it last time. And I think it worked well. It's almost like a little C shape here of shadow on each bread nugget. What are those called? Braid. It's a braid. And then this side is the shadowiest. My pencil seems to have recovered. Awesome. I forgot this one for some reason. And then anything that's like farther away or under, like kind of tucked under, is a little darker. Usually. It all depends on the lighting, but as a general rule. Looking good. Funky angle. You can rotate your paper around. I just kind of try to keep it one direction for a demo, but it helps a lot to rotate it depending on how your arm is positioned. And if you're doing like a curve like that, you know. And then blend these out, and then I'm going to add a second color to make it like golden brown, but for now I'm just using the brown. And what did I do on these other sides? You can always do it different, but so for the braid thingies, bloops on the left side, I did them all kind of with the same pattern of shadow. And then the right hand side, kind of did it a little different. Let's do that. So these are like, if the light's on this right side here, Then this side of the braid would be shadowy, is how I'm seeing it. You could look at a picture too of one online or whatever if you need help kind of visualizing it. But I just kind of imagined it for this particular one. So I don't really know if that's realistic bread shading, but to my eye, it looks realistic. And then this would be shadowy, and where it poofs up, the poofy bread poofs. Oops, I made a dark line, but that's okay. Okay, that's pretty good. You could go darker. You could do whatever you want. I'm going darker than that. I just can't help myself sometimes. Okay. So then I used I think I used just the light brown. Is that the one I used? Or did I use the sand? I think I used the sand. You could use either. But I used the sand. It's like a really light beige kind of color. And it just... Is that what I did? I think that is what I did. I just did darker with the brown here. I might blend that out a little bit. But then I used the sand and filled in the white to give it like a bread color. But as you can see, it's still a highlight. It's a lighter value than the brown. So it shows like a highlight and shadow, but there's no actual white space because I'm coloring it all sand. You could leave actual white space if you want. I'm just showing in this example that I wouldn't. Yeah, I want to keep going with this bread. I like really want it to look good. For some reason, I'm like, I want to keep coloring it. Okay. So I'm going to use the brown again. Just one more time to darken and blend it. And then I think I'm going to use the light brown to blend these two a wee bit. Looks pretty good though. Okay. Maybe just a tiny bit of light brown, not tons. Tiny bit of light brown to blend out the two. And then it adds a little more golden color. It's kind of cool. And then leaving some, like a little bit of a rough texture on bread just makes it look more crusty. Who doesn't like a crusty bread? I'm sure there's someone. I'm sure someone doesn't like crusty bread, but I like crusty bread. I don't get it that often though, because I can only eat gluten-free bread. It's hard to find a good crust. Okay. A little bit of the dark brown or light brown mixed in there. Then when you add three colors, you really see like a richness of it kind of pop through. It's pretty cool. Awesome. Okay. This looks really great. I like it a lot. Same colors as this one, but just different order. So I'll keep going here. I'm going to make the bottle the darker green. So that'll be really fun. So forest green, Crayola pencil. Let's sharpen it up real quick. And if you haven't seen my sharpener, this is my favorite new sharpener. I've tried a bunch of them and this one is my favorite. You turn this wheel and you can get like a really pointy point. I like a 3, looks like that. But to me, and not just that, the blade seems the sharpest to me of all the sharpeners. I'm very happy with it. I was kind of meh about all my sharpeners, but now I'm like, this sharpener rules. It's pretty nerdy. Okay, so forest green, the darkest on the left. I'm going to leave a highlight on the right. And then it's not standing out from the background too well, so I'll probably figure out a way to make that pop out more. Maybe just if I darken this. a lot. I might add some brown too. Cool. This part needs to be done up. Too much white. Going into the zone, not talking anymore. I'm gonna kind of like really lightly make this whole thing forest green, but really I'm pressing like so lightly here. You could use a lighter color pencil too and press harder. I mean, it's kind of the same diff, but a little different. You can do either way though. You can use two colors, or you could use one color and just press real light and real hard to make it different. Either way is cool. Okay, gotta do the top and the handle. I didn't do the green inside the handle either. I always miss those random spots. I know there's someone watching and it's driving them crazy too. Sorry. We will get that done. Cool. Okay. So let's get that little bloop in here. Bloop. Now, while I'm at it, I have to darken some shadows just because. Can't help it. Okay. Stop. And darken this green, make this really green. And I might dull it out with a little brown too. But it looks pretty cool like this. It's real bright. I think I am going to add some brown. So trying to leave my shadows on the right, and it's not like a white. I mean, it's a little lighter up there. Try to darken the bottom. I was trying to leave it highlight on that top rightish kind of area. And I did. It's just not very pronounced. So a less pronounced highlight, like less contrast, appears less shiny typically. And a really bright highlight appears more shiny. Okay, now I shall use my brown pencil and just add some darkness. You could use a green or orange or anything to dull it out, but I'm just going to use brown kind of. It's going to look cool. It looks sort of like a, I don't know, you know those greenish bottles, they kind of have a brown cast to them. Maybe a little like that. Cool. That looks beautiful. It's kind of glowing. I like it. Maybe a little darker down here. Then, like if you stop and look at it from a distance, even just take your eyes out of focus and put. My parents are calling. I got to turn that off. It's my dad's birthday. I called him earlier. Sang a very hearty rendition of Happy Birthday on his answering machine. Okay. Cool, that looks good. A little bit of browners up here. That looks nice. And then since my light's on the right, a little this label would be shadowing. I gotta color the actual label too, huh? Don't have to. Don't have to. Okay, with the light brown though, I will color the whole thing. Real light. Just all crazy. And then darken the left, because that's my light source and I'm sticking with it. On the right, darkening lefterly things. Good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just give it a kind of a cool rustic look. It's rustic. That's so darker, a little bit darker on the left, and tiny bit lighter on the right. But oops, my tip just broke off, so I'll call it good. And the corks are not that shiny, so they probably don't have that much contrast. All right, now on to the goos and the crackers. This will be fun. I'm gonna do these crackers a little lighter. It's my brown pencil seems to be imploding. I'll go put it on the, a source of heat and report back if it fixes it. It should. It's worked for me in the past. I was skeptical about it too, but, which is silly. Because the internet says it's true. No, it's actually a really, really helpful trick if you have a lead, all jokes aside. It's a really helpful trick if you have a piece of pencil that the lead keeps breaking. Because that's so frustrating. All right, so darkening the underlap of the crackers and then just kind of blending it out a little bit. I sort of let my light source go. It was such a complicated pile of crackers with underlaps and stuff. I sort of just more did that as the light source and didn't worry about the left-right thing so much. But you could definitely approach it a different way. Maybe leave a little contrast between the two, like this part's darker underneath, so that one really kind of pops out the top. Don't have to, but it can help to make it look like it's stacked up. These are a lighter. These look like those ones. Have you had those ones called Mary's Gone crackers? They don't actually look that appealing, but they're really good. They have like a lot of seeds. They look like extra healthy, like, oh, that won't be delicious. But they're very delicious, I think. Okay, cool. Mary's Gone crackers. So, let's see what's next. So the little bottle is going to be green too. Do that real quick. And the way I've sort of been doing transparent bottles is like, if you imagine a light coming through it, either it could be horizontally, but like diagonally. So there'd be a highlight there and there'd be another little highlight over here. And it's just one way to do it. There's like lots of ways to do bottles. Depending how the light is hitting them, they can look very different. But I'm not doing too much here. This is such a tiny bottle. There's not a lot of room to play with it. Darken that real good. I think I did like this. I liked that look. Darken the bottom. Try to leave some light like shining through it maybe. And even just a little bit of highlight goes a long way. Cool. Light's on the left, so I'm going to darken around the label here on the right hand side. Leave that second highlight though, so it kind of looks like it's the light's going through. Cool. I like. Little cork And then I'll do an orange label. The brown pencil's bummed. It wants to come back into the mix. And then if, like with a double layer thing like this little label, if you make the top one lighter and the bottom one darker, it looks like the top thing is sticking up. If you do it the opposite way, it looks like it's going in. So you could play with that. It's fun. It's a pretty cool trick. So it kind of looks like it's popping up. All right, now onwards, we're almost done. We just have to do the herb butters and the goo. So I just used I kept the plates really simple. I just used the cool gray. I kept them white, but added shadow with gray. So just on the left-hand side of everything, of each pile of goo, I sort of added just a tiny bit of color. They still read as white plates, but just added a little bit of the gray. I still think they look like white plates. Then this one too. A little bit of this. And the doily, darker edge. Kind of looks like it's dipping down. Okay. And then sand. Real easy doily. I'm just going to do it super simple. You could definitely do more detail or take longer on those parts. Whatever you want to do is cool. Tiny bit of shadow. Okay. Now I just have to color 3 more things. So a little bit like this. This one's dill. So I think I added some green specks, which was kind of fun. But first I have light brown. I'm shading the left-hand side. It's almost like a sphere, even though it's a pile of goo. You could shade it like a circle or a sphere. And then the sand color, just to give it like two-toned. And then it was a dill. It doesn't have to be what I wrote there, but I made it, to me, it was like a dill thing. So I added some green dots. Just fun. Okay, good enough. Nope. Do more. Okay, stop. Good. All right. So that's a wild mustard. So I'm going to make it kind of orangey brown, but I want to give it definition from that leaf. So kind of use similar colors, the same light orange, but still find a way to keep it different. Just to give it contrast. Okay, so just a little light orange and then back with the sand. Keep these real simple. You could make more elaborate dips, of course, but I'm just gonna keep them chill. Maybe add a couple dots in there. The good mustards always have dots. Mustard dots. Fun. Okay, I could keep doing that, but I'm going to stop. And then the last one was rosemary, and I made it green. I'm going to use the jade again. Oh, wait, that's funky monkey. Make that a little more, blend it out a little bit. Okay. Now the jade green goo. Green butter. Darker, just slightly darker on the left. And then highlight on the right, but real basic. Nothing too fancy. Maybe I'll darken that just a little bit to separate it from the background. I have an olive green pencil, which I haven't used at all yet in this piece. So perhaps I will use that. Cool. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, wait, let's make this green. Don't have to color all those details, but yay. Wow, that looks awesome. I love how it came out. This was the first one I did, exact same colors, but just a different look. And I love it. I think it looks really good. It had me do some things that were different than what I would normally do, like color the leaves like orangey and stuff like that. But I love how it turned out. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a magical day. If you color something or this page, post it, because I think it's fun and we want to see what you colored. So have a good night, and see you again soon.